Like a couple Bitcoins. Pull up on my Nakamoto.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Blockchain Dynamics Show.
All right.
My name is Brandon Doge.
I am Woody.
This is Air by Trial Radio.
And here we are at episode number 29.
Episode 29. It's Sunday, September 17th.
Yep. And it's a different time than usual.
Yep.
Feels pretty good, though.
Yep. We've had some busy work schedules.
Yep.
So the Sunday show works a little better sometimes. Hope you all enjoy it.
As usual, Blockchain Dynamics Show is being brought to you by Cryptopia, www.cryptopia.co.nz.
Check them out. Cryptopia, it's an altcoin platform, not just an exchange, but also forums, coin information, block explorers, all kinds of good stuff. And our home base is over there in the Cryptopia forums. We're in the altcoins section. We're stickied up there.
Yep, and come drop us a line. Let us know a topic you'd like to hear about or something like that, and we'll reward you with some dots. Cryptopia's native currency.
Yep, you can do anything at Cryptopia with dots. And yeah, it's great. They've got a new GUI up there. Things are running fast. Things are running smooth. I've enjoyed my trading on Cryptopia for the past couple of weeks for sure.
All right. And our special feature this week is an interview with Rob Wilson from Incent.
The project is Incent. The website is www.incentloyalty.com.
And we just recorded this the other day with Rob, and so we like to just sort of play these at the front of the show. We're going to get this going.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hello, this is Woody with Blockchain Dynamics.
And my name is Brandon Doge.
We're here today with Rob Wilson. Hey, Rob.
Hi, fellas.
And Rob is the CEO of BitScan, as well as the founder of Incent. And we're going to learn about both of those projects today. Rob, we were hoping we could start off with sort of an introduction about yourself and some information about BitScan. We weren't really actually familiar with BitScan until we learned about Incent, and so I guess that would be a nice place to start.
Yeah, no problem. So BitScan's been around now since 2014, and it's very simple. The aim of BitScan is to connect consumers to merchants. To get the Bitcoin economy going was its mission, and so it was established as a directory. And it is still a directory. We think it's probably the largest on the planet of Bitcoin-ready merchants, and we've by this stage embedded e-commerce so that people can buy direct from merchants on site or in directory, and that directory is available on mobile apps or online.
Okay, yeah, that that is kind of what we surmised from looking through the website, and we found that directory, and it seemed to be quite a variety of things from around the world on there. How do people go about getting onto that directory?
They just create an account. You log on, and you're ready to go. You can upload your inventory and upload your your designs, your logo, and you'll create a store, and off you go.
And then all of the transactions are Bitcoin through there, or is it like a different kind of basket of cryptos?
You can buy in Bitcoin. You can use a Shifty button, or you can pay in fiat as well. It's agnostic really.
Oh, so there's a credit card option too then?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Cool. And so that is sort of the company that is behind Incent?
Right. Well, I mean, it's. I need to level with you. Incent was born out of the slow uptake in merchants coming on board, and that's a problem that's been reflected throughout the crypto world. Is that we're failing, or we have been failing to bring the mainstream community with us, right? So we're all engaged in this fascinating and exciting project, but we need to become a bigger family.
Right. Yeah, I understand that.
So
Makes sense.
Incent is solving a merchant problem, and in solving that merchant problem, having merchants literally put crypto in mainstream consumers' hands. Now, I don't know how your own experiences were, but human beings in general, we learn when we experience something rather than reading about it in a book. So it doesn't matter how often you tell someone in the bar that crypto is awesome. That when they really get it, the moment they really get it is when you've opened your wallet, got them to download one, and pass some crypto to them, right? And there's a feeling that it's a visceral, it's an enlightenment. It certainly was for me. What do you mean I control this value and no one else is involved? That's awesome.
Yeah.
They can see it and feel it. So Bitscan has never become anything more really than a project. I needed to solve that problem, and Bitcoin needs to, or crypto needs to solve the problem of ownership.
Yeah, and so when it comes to Incent, what's the approach to solving that?
Okay, so the idea for Incent really came one day when I had to go into my wife's purse and for some money. And in that purse is about 10 store loyalty cards, and as most wallets have, right? In fact, the average American household has 22 memberships. But the problem with loyalty is we just don't value it as consumers. The cards, just gather dust in our wallets because the value on them is generally small and only spendable or redeemable with the issuer, and that's just not how we live our lives.
Okay.
And so you've got this, in everyone's wallet is just an exemplar of the tremendous waste of that system, because that wasn't what the merchants intended, right? They spent a lot of money establishing their loyalty programs, their reward programs, and they went to the expense of actually, getting that the credit card inventory, setting up an accounting system. They also, every time they issue a point, a token, or whatever funny money they're using, that value, because it can only be redeemed with them, is a recordable tax liability moving forward. So they're paying hand over fist for the privilege of providing us with loyalty rewards that we don't care anything about.
Yeah, I think I can think of lots of different ones that are in my wallet, ranging from punch cards to plastic ones, and ones that are contained in apps at this point a little bit too. But so I do know that that's a big industry.
Yeah, I'm like the kind of person who normally just gives up on all my loyalty cards. Like I don't even try to keep up with them. My girlfriend is the opposite way. She's very diligent about it and ends up. I mean, there's a lot of value that could be gained there.
Right. So this industry, would you believe, is currently worth $65 billion in the US? But you have to wonder who that value is going to. Is it actually going back to merchants in many cases, or actually is it just being scraped in by the large loyalty as a service providing companies?
Right. Definitely.
So there was the problem set that I thought we could get our teeth into, and when you consider that problem set and what blockchain might provide, you see that if you could provide a token and a suite of applications, one merchant-facing and one consumer-facing wallet, you could create a real value for the consumer at way less cost for the merchant. So on the consumer side, the consumer gets all the benefits that a crypto coin has. It's portable. You can share it, spend it, save it instantly, peer-to-peer. All this.
Right.
Yep.
And then what the merchant gets is he gets to outsource his administration to the blockchain. He doesn't have any forward tax liability because that coin can be spent beyond the limits of his enterprise. He actually books a reduced sales tax because what he's doing is he's paying as he goes. He's sacrificing a little bit of margin, and he's presenting that to the consumer to incentivize them to come back to him. So it's turning that sort of loyalty, the idea of loyalty, on its head. It's saying, you won't come back to me because I'm restricting your ability to come back to me. You'll come back to me because you value this reward so highly that you want more of it.
And so am I correct in understanding that part of the idea would be you could use Incent across the different vendors that have loyalty programs going with it?
You can use Incent with any participating merchant. You can use Incent to exchange for other cryptos. We hope it'll be possible to use Incent and just cash it straight back to your bank account.
And so will these loyalty programs, in terms of, usually I would go into the store and I would get, a token specific to that retailer. Will platforms have their own specific tokens, or will everyone just be kind of interacting with Incent?
So it works best if you have one token, and the reason for that is what happens there is you create a merchant fed transaction cycle which impacts positively on the underlying market. Does that make sense? So if you issue a token of finite supply, and then all over the place you have merchants, every time they transact at the point of sale with every consumer that they have, that represents a separate and an additional demand impulse on that currency on its secondary market.
Okay.
So I think
it really doesn't matter what the merchant, participating merchant, how he wishes to brand or describe that value to his consumers. It is literally digital value, and the value will change depending, by product or by product line or even by merchant, depending on how much the merchants also want to offer as discount when that token is spent back with them. So when that presents to the consumer in their wallet, they have literally smart money, which can be worth more or less depending on who they want to, who they're transacting with at the time.
Yeah. And so I think I can understand why using a blockchain for this is a less expensive route for merchants. And I was wondering why Waves was the blockchain of choice for your project.
Yeah, sure. So I don't know how much you know about Waves, but certainly in its focus, it is wanting to interact with mainstream. So it's building, gateways to into tethered currencies, into fiat currencies, and that gateway provision is appealing. And in fact, the notion that if you like, a blockchain provider is so firmly focused on connecting to mainstream is obviously appealing for an application that is itself connecting with mainstream. Also, I've known the founder for some time, and I like the idea of having a partner at the infrastructure layer that I can reach out and touch, that I have a relationship and that I trust. And finally, a proof of stake distributed blockchain avoids the consensus and the time delay to achieve consensus across the Bitcoin blockchain. Why is that important to us? Well, imagine you're a consumer and you've literally just paid for something. I want it to be possible for you to feel the power of that reward as quickly as possible. And that, every second after you've actually paid for something, that you don't see the benefit in a reward is almost a second lost. So transactions or confirmation times are quite important in that context. You want to, what you want to happen is for the merchant to buy something from the merchant and literally as the sale completes, their phone to buzz, and then to see that they have, $2, $3, $5, $10 of reward right now, which they can spend back with that merchant right now. It's a circle of goodness that you want to leveraged to the maximum, really.
Interesting. Yeah, we aren't totally familiar with Waves, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, so does Waves, it lets you issue the Incent token on top of the Waves blockchain, and then it's secured by the Waves blockchain?
That's right. So the Waves will be launching an asset exchange, and it'll be tradable there. That won't be the only place that that Incent's tradable. It will be. It is at the end of the day. It is just a token.
Yep.
So in the first instance, we as the primary broker will be instructed electronically by the merchant from their point of sale to issue an amount of Incent to a wallet, and that wallet is connected to the consumer's phone the moment they click on the link and download it. From that moment, they have their reward value sitting in their wallet, and it's very simply displayed to them. And there is also if you like, the BitScan's e-commerce functionality baked into that wallet. So from that moment onwards, the issuing merchant can push market his goods and services to that consumer, and they can buy them with a mix of Incent and fiat if they hook up their bank account direct from their phone, and then pick up in store or have it delivered or whatever. So what the merchant's getting really is the ability to communicate with their consumers on an ongoing basis.
Very cool. And so, is there a fee to the to the merchant for participating in Incent?
The only fee to the merchant is that portion of his sales revenue, or his sales margin, that he wants to sacrifice against that sale at that time.
So essentially, it's the incentive, the cost of the incentive.
Exactly, that is the extent of the fee. So their fees go. I mean, their operating costs go through the floor. It's
cool.
Yeah. Now so all of that value less a small brokerage fee goes to the consumer, and then it's exactly the same on the reverse cycle. So you can see a situation where if the merchant rewards a consumer with $5, and that $5 is spent back with the merchant, then the circle's completed, and it's costed him nothing but the brokerage commission to operate this incentive scheme.
So I see the distribution is 50 million coins for the ICO. 50
well,
million.
that's actually just an example. It will depend how many coins we actually sell at ICO.
Okay, so that's a flexible amount.
Yeah, so there'll be an amount of coins that are sold during the ICO, and the ICO is obviously is fulfilling a funding mechanism, but it's also creating a distribution and setting a market price.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And when the ICO completes, total issuance will be double what was sold.
So
50%.
Go ahead.
Go on. No. So okay, this is quite an important point. 50% will be held in reserve to be used to complete that transaction cycle that I just described to you.
So yeah, that's what I was wondering. Essentially, I saw that in the initial post it says 50 million and 50 million, but if you were to get into a case where you only sell, if you sell 40 million, then you would have 40 million on the other side to operate the fund, essentially, at the brokerage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this primary brokerage function is really important because, on the one hand, you want to be settling with the consumer, or for the consumer to be feeling that punch as quickly as possible, as I described. Right. But on the other hand, when the merchant remits to BitScan to settle that, if you like, that account, well, there's a time lag there of generally about 3 to 4 days. In the meantime, you need the market to feel that demand impulse. So if we consider day one as sort of a transaction day, at the end of that transaction day, there is an amount of Incent which BitScan has been issuing to consumers all over the place for their transactions with merchants. So BitScan needs a reserve of Incent to achieve that. At the end of that transaction period, we want the market to feel the benefit of that demand impulse. And the way we do that is to deploy some of the Bitcoin raised to buy Incent back out of the market and zero circulation at back where it was before the beginning of that transaction period. Does that make sense?
It does. And so is all of that accomplished through a smart contract on that Waves platform? or is it done through a human mechanism, or how does that all take place?
Yeah, no. Well, it needs to be a human. It's not something that you want to automate, because you don't want the secondary market to start gaming or playing, the value of playing that market, right? You need to. So it needs to be unpredictable.
Right.
Yep.
I can understand that.
If all traders know that, at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern, there's going to be a huge buy by Bitscan to rebalance the market, then that's not good.
Right.
So we'll be employing a quantitative analyst to actually perform that function, and we're in the middle of building a derivative product which will also trade on the Waves platform that allows us to zero our risk covering that period.
Okay. And
so that brokerage, that brokerage function is actually, the money mechanics of that are relatively sophisticated, but it's the cleanest and most elegant way of allowing the consumer to feel the benefit, investors or holders of the token to feel the benefit, whilst protecting, if you like, the business.
Okay, so as far as the merchants are concerned, one of the things that you'd mentioned about Bitscan is it kind of gives people the option to use fiat or to use crypto, and it's kind of seamless in a way. Is that going to be the case for merchants using Incent? Is there an option for them to interact kind of without experiencing the blockchain, or is it going to be, or will they be getting rewarded themselves through the Incent or through the Bitcoin?
Yeah. So I think I understand what you're saying. So I guess the beauty of this is that the merchant never touches the token themselves.
Okay.
In every case, Bitscan are either issuing on their electronic instruction or settling with them back in local currency. But we spent some time building the UX for the consumer, and in the wallet there'll be a simple sliding scale which allows them to decide how much of any transaction is going to be Incent based and how much of it is going to be fiat. I actually think that's really, really cool. It's just a little slide. So when they hit send, their wallet will deplete by however many Incent they want it to, and the rest will be drawn from their bank.
Okay. Yeah.
We have to bear in mind in all of this, fellas, that we are, we're pitching this product to consumers, like mainstream consumers. Mrs. Miggins, she has to get it. It has to be absolutely intuitive to her.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that within the white paper, we noticed the three sort of front-facing components of the project would be the merchant web application, the consumer wallet application, and then the suite of plugins to allow merchants to easily interact with the program for their selling.
Yeah,
and stuff.
That exactly right. So at the moment we are on the business development side of life. We've sort of dipped our toe into the water, and I mean it's just having been involved in the space now for about 3 years. The difference in the conversation when you go into a business and pitch Bitcoin to them as a means of exchange, it's sort of mere, why would I do that? Not one of my customers has asked me to be able to accept Bitcoin.
Sure.
When you go back in and say, all right, fellas, you're all interested about your bottom, in your bottom line and increasing your customer base, and we think we can help you achieve that, and here's how. It's a very, very different conversation. And in fact, I haven't had one prospect say that's just not for me. I mean, there isn't a merchant on the planet that hasn't got some itch that they want to scratch. And then whilst there are nuances in how they might go about it, they're all very interested.
Yeah.
So it's a very different conversation, and I think this, it just convinces me that this market opportunity is huge.
And so with regards to those three components, I guess, is there a sort of an order that those need to be completed in, or a time frame in which you guys plan on seeing those different things take place?
Well, sure. So the MVP really is done. It just isn't connected up to a cryptocurrency yet because there isn't one to connect it to.
Okay.
So the consumer-facing functionality and the merchant-facing functionality is all complete.
Okay, great. That's great to hear.
Yeah, but but that isn't to say that there isn't dev to be completed.
Right.
First of all, there is the integration with crypto, if you like, with the actual token itself, and then you'll both understand that there is between a minimum viable product and something that you want to take out to market. That's there's a delta there that needs to be filled, and that might be specific mobile applications, or it might be a nuanced functionality that on the merchant side.
With software, people pretty much have to start using it to learn where things need to be changed or.
Right. So this, I think, rollout is not about shrink wrapping this and banging it out on GitHub and and build it and they will come. This is about us intelligently identifying a customer number one who has a sufficiently compelling market size and value proposition to investors, right? That it would make sense for us to work with them on building this out and rolling into market with them, and we think we are getting close to that. So there is an insurance operation in Australia, and they are looking to build an ecosystem around their insurers, their medical practices, pharma, and retailers. So they have partners already in this space, and what they want to do is secure their hegemony by creating an ecosystem within which it makes sense to be, and outside of which it makes no sense to be.
Okay.
Well, you can see a real synergy there between what Incent is intending to deliver and what they need.
Interesting. Yeah, it's always good to hear what the actual use cases and stuff will be. And
right, and what's also interesting is within our community, within the crypto community, people are starting to see, as the penny drops, they're starting to see their own niche applications that could utilize this sort of the base functionality. So I think the plan is to get customer one, identified, sorted, and into market as quickly as we can. And I think at that point, when you've got something, a base code that's sufficiently robust to open source, I think at that moment it makes sense to do so, and then invite the community either by bounty or off their own volition to build their own niche applications, using that functionality. I just make it easier for them to achieve.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's an interesting kind of approach to the deployment, I think.
Could you give us some information about the ICO that's coming up?
Yeah, sure. So the ICO is due at the moment to start on the 1st of October. I don't think there's anything particularly groundbreaking about the way the ICO pricing has been designed. I guess what is fairly unusual is I've set a cap on the ICO of $5 million. Now, as I speak to you, $5 million equivalent in Bitcoin. As I speak to you now, I have absolutely no idea how close to, or whether we'll saw through that in 24 hours, or whether we'll fail to get near it. I just don't know. But what I do know is that I want there to be a strong secondary market for this token. And since I don't need any more than that, in fact, we can get comfortably to market and prove this concept out inside that figure. It seems senseless just to keep the ICO going beyond means that I need.
Okay,
so
yeah. That makes sense, actually. And There's some other good reasons, I think, as well, that we've seen where people with large amounts of money can essentially buy an unlimited amount of tokens if a coin keeps going forever. So,
Right, so that's the first thing. So the ICO is due to run for a month, and for the first 4 days, I think we're pricing at 10,000 per BTC, and then for the next week it'll be 9,000 per BTC, and then 8,000. Then finally, we get to the 30th of October, we're pricing at 6,000 per BTC. So there's quite a saving for people that are who understand what we're doing and get behind the project and go early. But that's how we priced.
And that ICO is being conducted through the website for Incent, incentloyalty.com. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right, and we're just putting the finishing touches to that functionality now.
Okay, great. I guess is there anything else you'd like to add, Rob?
No, I don't think so, boys. I think you've taken me. You've helped me to walk across the material pretty well, and I think the bottom line here is that almost the point I made right up, at the beginning, is that this is in a macro sense, this is a play to get crypto being used in a mainstream setting, in the real world, in a way that makes sense to consumers and is really low drag for merchants. It's the best I can come up with to solve the problem that of getting out of niche and sort of breaking into a more mainstream type scenario.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've noticed definitely in crypto is coin after coin will roll out some interesting or some new futures, and everybody will be, there'll be this huge hype around the future and how it's going to change everything, but the adoption is never there. You don't see the adoption, so it's exciting to see a coin that is so focused on the adoption aspect.
For sure.
Well, I think also, if your clients are merchants, then you're benefiting from their distribution, right? So they're becoming a servo to the mainstream audience that you want to reach. If you hit one merchant and that merchant has 10,000 customers, and all of a sudden you're putting crypto in 10,000 consumer wallets. Yeah, that is the key to the distribution, if you like, the concept, really. But beyond that, I think that there's a potentially a hugely powerful virtuous circle when you start talking about loyalty in terms of value, in terms of as opposed to restriction. So the conventional loyalty rewards industry is based on restricting value to within the confines of the issuing entity or entities. And I think that's a really weak proposition. And if for proof of that, you only need to look in your own wallet, right? If we were all vociferously using our loyalty cards, then I'd be wrong. But I know this to be the case, and we all do. Against that, we all know that human beings are innately, motivated by self-interest, right? So if we present consumers with something of real value that has actually cost us, an acceptable amount to deliver, then they're going to come back. It's a very different way of looking at loyalty. And even if they don't come back, others will, and you're going to be able to market to their consumers. So this is an attempt to provide a really compelling value proposition to both merchants and consumers. And that should, if I can help potential investors to understand that, they will see that with a powerful merchant-backed demand cycle happening on the secondary market, that it is worth holding this token themselves.
All right. Well said, Rob. We really appreciate you coming on the show and having a chat with us. I think that was a great kind of summary of what Incent is all about.
Yeah, and we wish the very best to the Incent project, and maybe we will talk to you again sometime.
Why not? Nice to talk to you, fellas.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Alrighty, that was Rob Wilson from Incent Loyalty. That's www.incentloyalty.com.
Thanks again for taking the time to talk to us.
Yep. And so let's see. Next, we are going to jump into a kind of a new segment.
Yeah, it's sort of a recent history look back because there are so many coins and so few of them continue on for very long, or, it's hard. We want to take a look back, just a little look back.
A little look back. We get so many coins through the door that we often lose track of them. And so we thought, hey, let's go back and see some of the coins we were interested in from the past month or so and see what they're up to.
So last week we looked at Byteball really briefly, and I went ahead and downloaded their test wallet onto my Android device.
Okay.
And it went okay. I went and got some free coins, and then today or yesterday I tried to open up the app, and I'm getting an error. So, they are in testing, so I guess the right thing for me to do would go and let them know the error I'm getting. So that's probably what I'll do eventually here. But that was my experience so far, and in the process I kind of realized that we overlooked the actual distribution method for this coin.
Okay.
The first time around. It's going to be done by linking Bitcoin addresses with Byteball addresses.
Okay.
And then 98% of all of the bytes and black bytes, as they're calling them, which are the private untraceable currency version, kind of like Shadow X or whatever.
Okay.
That will be distributed among those holders who have linked the addresses before the launch. So you keep the Bitcoins, you receive the bytes and black bytes.
Okay.
Then he keeps 1% for himself. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't quite catch that. It sounded more like an airdrop when we first covered it because that's how they were testing the wallet.
Right.
So I just thought that would be a nice chance to specify that.
But instead, it's another coin that you get distributed based on a Bitcoin wallet.
Yep. Except unlike somewhere, it's just the
burn
entire chain is sort of. You have to I don't know how the linking process works.
Okay.
I guess it says here that you basically just have to send a little bit of Bitcoin to an address and then send more Bitcoin to it.
I don't know about that.
I think you create the address, though. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. Well.
It's the actual launch isn't expected until late October, early November. So maybe we'll take another look at it as it gets further along.
Yep. The name of that coin was Byteball. Next up, we're going to talk about Veltor. This one launched about a month ago. They launched it just as with a really quiet post that was just like, hey, I'm a student, this is my coin. And that was it.
Yeah.
But it was surprisingly well put together for what would be a student coin. And now it's changed a lot if you go to the thread.
Yeah, it has a more specific purpose now. They want to basically implement Lightning Network, which is an idea for Bitcoin instant transfers.
Okay.
Does it exist or not? I don't think it.
I'm not familiar with Lightning Network. I'm not sure about that.
I've heard of it, but I don't really know much.
Okay.
So anyways, it has a problem. I don't think that it's fully implemented on the Bitcoin blockchain because of that. So they're now going to try to work on solving that within Veltor, and then I guess their dream would be that Bitcoin implements their fix.
And their idea is that with Lightning Network, they don't need quick confirmations. So
Right.
they've slowed the confirmations to this thing to 30 minutes per block.
That's a long time.
And so obviously the functionality is going to be, it'll be interesting until it gets to that point. But other than that, there was just a lot of interest in it. It does have a highly front-loaded reward schedule. So it was, there's a potential that a lot of the supply could have been monopolized early on. But that said, it is trading on Yobit. Last time I checked, it was sitting around the 20 Bitcoin market cap range. There have been about 400,000 mined. And that's probably most of what will be mined. And yeah, Veltor's out there, unique algorithm. It is
still mining though, right?
It is still mining, yep. It'll be mining for a while.
Just very slowly now.
Just very slow blocks and low rewards.
Yeah.
So the best of the mining is definitely done there. But still, I would say this one is looking interesting overall, in my opinion, still.
We were also kind of still looking at Pascal coin.
Pascal coin. This is another coin that launched about a month ago.
And it's currently still CPU only mining from what we can tell.
This is another post that looked really kind of generic and short when it was first launched, but now it looks really fancy if you check it out again. They've released the block reward schedule. Obviously, you could have gotten it out of the code earlier, but they've got a nice chart up here. The first 100,000 blocks will distribute about half the coins, and then the coins will have, looks like every... Oh, wait, it's actually 400,000 blocks. So 400,000 blocks is when the rewards have. So you'll get the first half of the coins in the first 400,000, and then it'll go on. So there's still plenty of time to try and mine this right now. It's CPU only. I never did get set up on it, unfortunately. I'm kind of really regretting it now because I bet, just based on the thread interest and everything else that's going on, it seems like this one has the possibility of doing really well.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I'm always down for a coin with this type of start, and a lot of people looking like they're looking for off-market coins as well as miners setting stuff up. So definitely deserves to be taken a second look at more than some of the other ones.
And technically, of course, it's a new wallet built in the Pascal programming language. That's where the name comes from. And yeah, it looks cool. It's got the white paper up there. I haven't actually dug into the white paper.
I haven't got mining yet either on that, and I've wanted to that whole time. Got to do it. Got to do it.
Sometimes you just got to do it. Up next is Jules. We covered Jules. We had an interview with the developer.
Yep.
Before the IPO even started, I think.
Right.
No, it was going on, I think. But so we thought we'd follow up and see where Jules is at. They ended up raising 336 Bitcoin on the IPO. I think that was more than they were expecting. So turned out to have really gotten a huge response. I checked it out now. The developer seems to be really active. Supposedly a big release coming this Friday for that. They're also trading on Yobit at a little bit above IPO price last time I checked. And really just seems like a lot of interest in this coin right now. I'm kind of... the community seems to really be reacting strongly to it.
Yeah, and that was a great interview for people that want more info about Jules. Probably could go back and listen to it.
Yep. I don't remember what episode it was on.
Nah, me neither.
It was 4 episodes ago or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that was Jules. Next on our list of recently launched coins that we wanted to revisit is ZayedCoin.
Yeah, ZayedCoin, kind of another Dubai coin copycat.
Yeah, the reason that this one, it interested me in that it's just so much like Dubai Coin. Right as Dubai Coin is dumping, it's like, if this is actually kind of going to be the same pump and dump story, that would be really interesting just to see them doing it right in front of our face like this is pretty impressive. So the coin's already on Yobit, and it is trading well so far. So yeah, I'm just, if this follows a Dubai Coin trajectory, I think that would be really interesting.
Okay.
Obviously no way to know that it does. I haven't jumped in on this one yet. I'm just watching it, but
yeah, doesn't look dead.
It's a curious entry.
Not a ton of pages, but people are still posting there.
Yep. So that was ZayedCoin. And let's see, another coin that we thought was interesting when it launched was FrostCoin.
But that looks really stagnant now.
Yeah, and so it looks like that one never really went anywhere. So
that was kind of a week where there was been some good launches.
Yep.
Even if they didn't turn out to be anything real good. At least like some solid proof of work launches. Been seeing,
exactly.
Not that there's anything wrong with ICOs, but when we take a look back at, a lot of these coins, some ICOs don't always seem to even happen.
Yeah, no, definitely not. No, or they take place over such a long time frame that you don't really hear about them until it's done and trading.
Yep.
So yeah, that does it at our look back at recent coins. I think really Pascal really stands out to me right now. I also still think Veltor and Jules are looking good, and I'll be watching Zayed.
Yeah.
Let's see. We are going to head on into the news.
Yeah, a little news.
We love the news here on Blockchain Dynamics. And let's see. Let's start it off. Top story for me this week. Brandon Doge builds a miner.
Sweet.
I went up with a 5 graphics card rig, and we'll see how it runs. I haven't gotten it fully set up yet. The goal is to try to mine ETH and kind of a mix of random coins as they come up, and we'll see how it goes. I haven't had an actual dedicated miner in a long time, and I always loved having a miner, so I decided I'd fire one up.
Yeah, that sounds like a really sweet project.
Yeah, so I'll keep you guys posted with the results of that.
We also saw that the Decent ICO raised a chunk of money.
Decent ICO raises $2 million. You know, I was almost, for a second, I think I naively believed that we wouldn't see any of these huge ICOs for a while, but here it is. The Decent ICO pulls in $2 million in like a day or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, this coin, I didn't really notice it when it came out. If we did, I didn't really think about it very much. And when I look at the post, I'm not really sold. I guess I'm having a hard time understanding why this is the coin that raises $3 million or whatever, but
Sure.
there can be things going on behind the scenes that I'm not aware of. It is a lot of what happens, you know, just in terms of oftentimes it's just development and stuff that I don't know about.
Yeah.
And so you never, so it's interesting to see Decent raising so much money.
Yep. So be keeping an eye on that for a bit.
Let's see other news. NiceHash.
NiceHash,
Some updates.
Added support of the library algorithm.
Okay, so you can mine library with NiceHash money now.
Mm-hmm. And of course, they released a new NiceHash miner to extend support for that.
Nice.
And some other fixes.
NiceHash miner is kind of an interesting tool that lets you. You can point your hash power at it, and then it will switch to whichever algorithm is most profitable in the NiceHash kind of hash renting pool. So that's a cool tool for miners, and NiceHash has obviously really kind of changed the way the rental scene is in a lot of ways and made it a lot more easy for people. So, you know, we love them.
Yeah. NiceHash is such a fun tool to play with.
Yeah, and it just lets regular people use preposterous hash rates as needed.
In other news, Scenario burnt some of their amps.
Scenario has burned half of all of the amps in existence.
Why would they do such a thing?
Why would they do such a thing? What they're saying is that because the way the ICO was less than they expected, and apparently the way it was structured is that left them with a huge percentage of the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
And they felt that it would improve the project by burning essentially half of the world's amp. They said that this was $146 million worth of amp.
Wow.
We kind of wonder how that's possible when the market cap of amp is only like 12 million.
Right.
So I'd be interested to know where they came up with that figure, but it's still an interesting move. The coin was doing great before. They probably didn't really have to do it. So an interesting move by the Scenario team there.
Yeah. I guess they, needed some news to move that market.
Yeah, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've never tried to actually use AMP, so I can't speak to what the development behind it is. But it has certainly been an active coin on the markets, if nothing else.
Definitely.
Alrighty, that does it for the regular news this week. Next, we're going to check out the gainers and losers. Like to see who's going up this week and who's going down.
Yeah, always interesting.
The big gainers this week, number 1 is StealthCoin, plus 79%.
Sneaking up, stealth style.
Number 2, BurstCoin, plus 67%. Really happy to see BurstCoin getting its moment in the sun. We always love that coin.
Yep.
A really innovative method of securing the blockchain using hard drive capacity instead of computing power. And so far, the fact that it's still around and still doing so well says a lot about the technology that they created there, I think.
It's working.
So yeah, congrats to Burst holders. And we also have Bitmark at plus 64%.
Mm-hmm.
Not as large a gains as we've seen for the past few weeks. We've been seeing some like 300% and 400% gains on coins week to week. This week they're a little more mellow, but still a few big winners.
Definitely big.
Your losers this week, BitCrystals, minus 36%, about a third of its value.
That one had been going up a lot.
Yep. The same could be said about Nautilus. Huge pump. Was 20 or 30x or something for a while, if not more. Now it's down 21% this week, so cooling off a bit. And Steam down another 21% this week. This Steam is down to almost 10% of its peak at this point.
Let's see.
Looking for the floor on Steam.
Man, yeah, that's about right.
But Steam still it's made a huge splash in the market, continues to do so, and I would not be surprised to see this thing start to at least slow down or turn around soon.
Who knows?
Yep.
I still go to their website and check it out and post the show on there.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's a cool platform. The fact is they put it together and they did it. So
yep.
I always got to give props to that. And market's going to do what the market's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that does it for gainers and losers. Next, we are going to jump into our random coin spotlight.
Yeah. The coin we rolled this week is Aeon.
Aeon is the random coin of the week.
AEON.
Yep.
That's how that's spelled.
This is a Bittrex traded crypto.
And it looks like missed the pump on this one.
Yeah, it blew up like about a month ago, probably, it looks like. This coin came out in June of 2014.
Yeah, and we looked through the thread a bit, and we saw that in September, the dev quits.
Yep, so 3 months after launch, the developers pack up and leave. That's a pretty common story, especially for coins of that era. The point of the coin here is that it's a crypto note-based coin. It uses a different version of the algorithm called Kryptonite Lite, I think.
And one of the Monero folks stepped up to sort of take care of the blockchain a little bit and at least keep it up to date with most Monero releases, from what I can tell.
Yep, so there's actually an active developer, somebody from the Monero project, who is kind of keeping this chain alive, keeping it up to date. And I think as a result, the price has been kind of linked to Monero as well. So I think when you look at the price of Aeon having spiked like a month ago, it's pretty much concurrent with the Monero pump. And I think that that's just the effect of the coins being similar and having that crossover on the team there and stuff. Just kind of made it a natural candidate for a price hike once the Monero pump really kicked off.
So this is a coin that people are still mining, and
you can still mine it.
Must be okay for mining if some people are doing it. I don't know. Didn't look into the math on that.
So yeah, Aeon coin, over 2-year-old chain, holding strong. That was our random coin spotlight.
We'll just roll right along into the new posts.
Oh, we gotta love those new posts. Gotta keep you guys up to date with the new posts, Otherwise, you're not, how do you even know what's happening if you're not watching the new posts?
Right, exactly.
And we're here to crawl through the mud on Bitcoin Talk, bring you all of the latest entries into the blockchain world.
Mm-hmm. Up first is our proof of work coins.
We're gonna start it off with the proof of work coins.
And the first one of those is Pablo Escobar coin.
Pablo Escobar coin. This is a high pre-mine, long proof of work script, kind of a shit coin. Just themed after Pablo Escobar, the famous drug kingpin.
Very little information and
very large pre-mine.
Yeah.
Up next in your proof of work coins is Ring coin.
Ring. This one was pretty much the same thing.
Long proof of work, high pre-mine, script algorithm. And other than that, just really nothing going for it.
But people are mining these.
Yeah, they are being mined. People are pointing their script ASICs at it and, rolling the dice, I guess.
Zombie Apocalypse coin, another proof of work coin.
Zombie Apocalypse coin was launched. This is another long proof of work script. There is no pre-mine listed in the original post. I didn't dive into the code to see, to check manually if there was one, but as far as I can tell, so far there's no pre-mine, so that at least stands it out from the other coins this week.
Sure. Yeah.
Otherwise, the theme is that it's for society to survive after the zombie apocalypse.
Yep.
They're going to need a coin.
Right.
So why not zombie apocalypse coin?
It's built right in.
It's just, it's obvious. No.
Yeah.
They don't ask the question of why people wouldn't wouldn't just use Bitcoin or even how cryptocurrencies would remain running in a post-apocalyptic society. But
Well, they said that was after they got the electricity and internet reconnected.
okay, I see. Post-apocalypse,
Yeah.
zombie coin takes over.
Yep, exactly.
All right, makes perfect sense.
Also out is Armory Coin.
Armory Coin. All right, this is going to shock everybody. We got another high pre-mine, long proof of work script algorithm shitcoin.
Yep.
So the serial shitcoin devs are hard at work this week, bestowing upon us a nice little selection of high pre-mine script coins.
And we also took a look at the ICO announcements this week.
ICO announcements this week. We'll start it off with TriStand. This is a definitely not native English post, but the idea is that they're going to build an investment platform based on 3 different mechanisms of supporting the price. One is the pump, the second is the burn, and the third is the freeze. So the pump, the way this works is that it's like they'll randomly pump a coin, essentially, is the idea.
Oh, wow.
And then they'll take the money back and prop up the price of TriStand.
Uh-huh.
The second part is that there are mechanisms to burn the coin supply. They never say why or how, but supposedly that's mechanism 2. I wonder where do the burn coins come from? I'm trying to see in the post here.
It looks like somebody's coins get burned.
Oh, so it looks like people vote for a coin to get pumped. You pay for the vote with the coin,
Ah,
and those coins get burned.
gotcha.
The third phrase is the freeze, which forces people to lock up coins in their wallet to vote and take them off the market. And so they're saying that these 3 things will prop up the price of TriStand, and they want to raise a bunch of money to do it.
Interesting idea. Lots of trust involved, and of course it's an ICO. So how's that working?
Yeah, exactly. You always, your due diligence is always required. Looks like they at least have an escrow, but as always, you have to be very careful with these kinds of coins. And we've seen a lot of coins try to do the investment vehicle theme before. I'd say the most successful is Gambit, where they have like a series of traders that invest the coin and the money goes back into buying Gambit or something like that.
Yeah, and one that we looked at recently that looked like it was doing something similar as Salus as well.
Oh, right. Yep.
It looked like it was doing pretty well.
So there are successful examples of it, and I really have no way to know if TriStand would be a good one at this point. Too early.
Up next is Make.
Make.
They say learn and earn.
Learn and earn. This is a humble 50,000 Bitcoin IPO.
Okay.
For a coaching platform for people to coach each other, I guess.
On how to trade better.
Life coaching.
Oh, life coaching.
I think it could be anything.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, pretty dubious. 50,000 Bitcoins. That's an awful lot.
Oof, it is.
Alrighty, next up on the IPO list is Asian Rupee. No escrow, no waiting. So these guys have the balls to do an unescrowed IPO, and then they also they're selling that as a future by saying that you don't have to wait as long to get your coins. So it's great.
And
Very dubious.
nothing too stand outish, honestly. Looks like a very normal coin aside from the ICO.
Yep, when we were going back through the coins this week, we noticed just how many IPOs you never hear from again, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of them. I always like to be wrong about coins, but we'll see what happens. That was Asian Rupee. Next, we're going to look at the airdrop coins. There was one airdrop this week, a pretty funny post to read through. It's called DPay. So they had a huge pre-mine, which was only sort of announced. The stated specifications said it had a 2 million pre-mine, but the actual pre-mine's like 40 million.
Wow.
But he went ahead and airdropped the whole pre-mine anyway.
Okay.
But it was to 1,600 addresses, and the sign-up was only for a few hours.
Oh, we've sit type of thing before.
So it's the type of deal where, it's questionable. The last coin that this reminds me of was, I think it was called Cosmic. No, not Cosmic. Chronos. CronosCoin. Was an airdrop like that. I actually managed to get in on that one, and the coins ended up being worth quite a bit on Yobit, but it's already kind of off the map now. So even if this is a similar type of project, I wouldn't expect it to be around for very long.
Yeah.
That was DPay.
I don't expect to hear much about that one either.
So next, we're going to look at the re-announcements. Sometimes people re-announce their old coins, and it's fun to look at them.
Yeah, the first re-announcement this week is IX or 9coin. Not quite sure.
It's IXCoin. I've seen this coin on markets before. I've seen the price go up and down, and I've kind of wondered, oh, there's IXCoin. What's that all about? I just learned today when we were looking at it that this coin came out in May of 2011.
Yeah.
This thing is over 5 years old. That's one of the oldest altcoins that we've ever seen.
Right.
So, wow. I mean, really surprising to see that still trucking along. They still got a block explorer. You can trade them over on Cryptopia. I don't know if they're on any other exchanges. They are on Cryptopia. And just really cool to see such an old coin still trucking along. I was kind of surprised when I actually read this post.
Yep, and the kind of premise is just that it is the same as Bitcoin, but had twice the inflation rate. So I'm pretty sure it's mined out, and that all their miners are. So. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
and well, their miners are
just transactions.
Are just getting they're not getting rewards. They were kind of proud of that fact that they were managing to keep the blockchain going for like a year without any rewards.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going. Interesting. So yeah, there's 9coin or IXCoin. Next in the relaunch coins, re-announcements this week, GayCoin. It's GayCoin.
Yeah, and we weren't sure if this was a new coin at first or an old coin, but it's definitely an older coin. Kind of remember it, but they don't really have much going on here.
Nope, I don't see a lot to like about this one. They advertise that they have wallet mining, even though it's an X13 algorithm, so you would never actually get anything if you tried to mine that way.
Another re-announcement was GrantCoin.
GrantCoin. This is supposedly a coin to fund the universal basic income.
Interesting idea.
That is an interesting idea. Maybe a potential use for the blockchain. Hard to see somebody choosing to adopt an external blockchain for something like that instead of just making their own.
And so they are the first cryptocurrency to be financially backed by donations, tax-deductible donations, because they are nonprofit. And some 80% of the funds contributed to the GrantCoin Foundation are used to support the price of GrantCoin, according to their post here.
Okay, looks like they are on Bittrex. In danger of delisting. So maybe that's why they made the post.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to stir up that volume and stay on T-Rex. Curious to see what the chart looks like. Looking at GrantCoin here. Going back in time. Price. The price is up. I don't know what that means.
Price is up. Volume's down.
Yep. So yeah, that's GrantCoin. And I think that will do it for the new coins this week. A bit of a slowdown this week. We've been seeing like 20 coins a week or something. We had quite a few less than that this week. The proof of work coins were not very interesting. So definitely nothing stands out there that I would want to mine. DPay maybe would have been worth signing up for the airdrop.
Yeah,
if it was even legit enough to get that far. So yeah, honestly, of all the posts this week, I would say that the re-announcement of IXCoin is the most interesting for me.
Yeah, because you can't even mine that one anymore.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway.
It's not a bad... It's interesting that it's so old.
Yep, still alive. Just shows how blockchains can stick around.
We'll be seeing... We'll take a look back at and let you know if any of these are worth mentioning again next week.
Yep. And now we are going to jump into our coin listings.
Coin listings.
Let's see. Supernova did not add any coins this week that we know of.
That's not too surprising. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is, but not with this list of coins, I guess.
Yeah,
is what I mean.
Agree. Nothing I would really expect legit pool operators to jump on.
Nothing new.
So in the coin listings this week, we'll start it off with Cryptopia. Once again, check out our Cryptopia forums thread. Stop by. We're in the altcoin section. Say hi. And we'll throw you 5,000 dots.
Bam.
Boom. Dots. So Cryptopia this week added Spacecoin.
All right.
They added Verium. This was interesting. Verium is I think that's a project from the Vericoin developers. I would be really curious. I'm not really sure what it's about. So that might be one that we'll want to revisit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar.
They added also Darknet
Darknet, okay.
and GroestlCoin added on Cryptopia.
All right. And, of course, nothing at PioneerShares this week.
Nope, but Bittrex also added Verium.
Oh,
So
what do you know?
clearly gaining some traction there.
Yobit coming in
Yobit.
hot.
Yep, listed a slew of Yobit coins. We have NoLimit Coin, TaoCoin, TotCoin, MustangCoin, Tellurion, RCoin, PioneerShares, and ZayedCoin.
Mm-hmm.
So the usual list of Yobit type coins. Of those, Zayed's the one that I'm going to be watching.
All right. And over at C-Cex, they listed ADZCoin
That's ADZCoin,
and SportCoin.
SportCoin.
That's a very new one.
Yep, that was launched last week.
And then over at Livecoin, they listed Goldblocks.
Livecoin has added Goldblocks. And we like to keep up with Nova Exchange and Coin Exchange. It seems like they haven't listed anything in a couple of weeks, or they're not updating their Twitters, or so we don't
Not really posting it anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't really know out of all the coins which ones are new.
Yeah, we use the exchange Twitters to keep up with the listings. So if you're an exchange operator, we appreciate you using Twitter.
All right.
That does it for the listings this week.
One of our segments that we love is our coin birthdays.
Yep, we always like to close out the show with the coin birthdays.
And this week we have a 2-year birthday for Magi Coin.
Magi, huge birthday. Really just a great coin. Obviously came out this week in 2014. Recently has just been doing some huge volume, huge trading going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's the price went way up on Magi right around that second birthday.
And I've never really interacted with Magi off of the market, so I'm curious, like, what's the point of Magi? What's the hook?
Well, one thing is that it's CPU mining.
Okay, that's cool.
And it has one of those algorithms with it where if the hash rate goes up, the block reward goes way down.
Okay, those can be really interesting.
So it does okay with that. I don't know who makes money mining it where it's profitable to do that, actually.
Right.
But regardless, they have a really cool community sort of bit going. Occasionally they do the proof of interest campaign like they're doing right now.
Okay.
Which is somebody donates a bunch of Magi and then you register an address with them and hold them in there for like a month and then you get interest on it.
Oh, okay.
More
cool.
than the proof of stake interest would be.
An extra bonus, essentially.
Yeah, like upwards of like 10% or so.
Oh, nice.
So they do some interesting little things like that. But anyway, we noticed that it's their 2-year birthday.
Huge happy birthday to Magi. Obviously, like you said, a huge community and a really interesting project. And we're going to give a 5-year belated birthday to IXCoin.
Yeah.
Just because we were so shocked by their how old that coin is. So happy belated 5-year birthday to IXCoin. The actual Genesis block, I think, was it in August? Right? It was like a little over a month ago that would have been its actual 5-year birthday.
Yeah. We won't miss it next year, that's for sure.
Yep. Huge congrats to you guys at IXCoin on your 5-year birthday. And I think that is going to do it for show number 29 of Blockchain Dynamics.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Going over some new coins and some listings and some news with us.
Yeah, we want to thank once again our guest, Rob Wilson of the Incent project. That's www.incentloyalty.com.
Yep, thanks again.
And we also want to thank Cryptopia. That's www.cryptopia.co.nz.
That's right.
That's an altcoin platform that you're definitely going to want to check out.
And say hi to us on the forum there over in the altcoin section to get some free dots.
Why not get those dots?
All right. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
up on my Nakamoto.